Maurice Bay here, the Helpful Trucker. I am super excited today. Today is April the 1st, and it's the first day that I'm out on the road as the owner and the operator of this truck with full responsibility over the truck, and obviously also getting 100% of the income that the truck makes as well. So if you've been following my channel, you know that a few weeks ago, probably about 2 weeks ago, I brought the truck from the owner, from the person I've been driving the truck for the last few years, which was my dad. We did that about 2 weeks ago. Still got to get over to the DMV and switch over the title and the registration. I'm supposed to do that next week, but I got the insurance set up a couple of weeks ago as well. And I got all of that set up to go into effect April the 1st. So since I've did that over the course of the last 2 weeks, we just been doing everything the same. I've been getting paid a third, and the checks have still been going to my dad. But today, April the 1st, is the first day of me having of everything that the truck makes coming to me now, and I'm super excited. It was a great day. Everything went as expected, and what I'm planning on doing over the course of the next 30 days is just going on every evening when I get done and just giving like a little 3 to 7 minute update about how the day went. Essentially to give you, the viewer, or anyone that's interested out there in knowing what it's like to get your own truck and operate your own truck. If you're interested in knowing kind of how that works and what it's like when you initially go out, I'm gonna try to release a video every day for the next 30 days, or at least every working day for me for the next month, to let you know how that goes. And in these little 3 to 7 minute updates, I'm just gonna kind of let you know how the day went, you know, what happened, essentially. If anything happened good, if anything happened out of the ordinary, good or bad. Essentially just giving you a way to be able to know or get a better perspective as far as what's possible with getting your own truck. I'll even give you the numbers that I'm bringing in on a daily basis so you can kind of see where I came from as far as what I was making driving the truck for my dad, and what I'm gonna make as far as driving the truck for myself. My numbers won't be universal. They won't be universally applicable as far as because the kind of trucking that I do is not the kind of trucking that everybody does. So right now, as of today, I own my own truck and I stay local. I drive local. I don't go out of the state of Virginia. That's the state that I live in, okay? So just to give you a little bit of context on that. But, you know, essentially why I decided to make the move from driving the truck for my dad, because he was the one that was responsible for making sure the truck was at a place that I could make money. And now I'm responsible for that. So one of the reasons why I made the move is you know, I want to make more money, but it wasn't necessarily just about making more money. It was primarily about feeling like I'm more in control of what I can do, behind the wheel, and what I can do with the truck. Okay, so I actually, you know, I've formed an LLC, a second LLC, and I'm going to elect to get taxed as an S corp, which means I'm going to be taking a check from my business. I'm actually required to take a reasonable compensation, reasonable salary from my business as I get this set up. And so I'm going to be taking the same check from my business that I've already been taking from my dad for the last few years, which is a third of what my truck grosses. And all of the rest of the money that my truck grosses will be staying in my business, okay? One of the reasons that I'm going to do this is because over the last few years, as getting paid a third of what the truck grosses, and then that being 1099 income, obviously I want to write off as much as I can. And so that has put me in a category where I've got good credit. You can't find a late payment on my credit anywhere, but my adjusted gross income is low, I'll be honest with you, because I write off as much as I can, which means essentially whenever I need to borrow money, I'm crossing my fingers, okay? And so in setting myself up as an LLC and electing to get taxed as an S corp and taking a check that I'm withholding taxes from on a weekly basis from my own business, I'm essentially going to be a W-2 employee in my own business. So I guess I'm bringing that part up because not only am I going to have more control over what I can do with the truck because it's my truck now, but I'm also putting myself in position to have more control over how over my income, over how my income is structured, and what I can do with the dollar and how I'm being taxed. Okay, so for me, control is a big thing, and that's one of the primary reasons why I wanted to start my own trucking business and get my own truck and own and operate my own truck. So part of it was control. A main part of it was control. What I've got invested, I think this is relevant to let anyone know that's interested in following along on this journey. Total, what I've got invested is roughly about $15,000. Okay, I've got about $10,000 invested in the truck, and in just a few days, I plan to pick up a trailer. And the trailer, I have invested about $5,000. So I've got about $15,000 invested total. I don't have an MC number, and I don't have my own authority. Okay, I don't have a DOT number, so I didn't have to look at spending money on those things. But from what I'm told, when I look to get those things, they don't cost that much. But generally speaking, about $15,000 invested. What I look to gain, to get as a result of investing in that into this endeavor, well, again, I was getting paid a third of what my truck grosses, and I was making about $1,300 a week. And some weeks I would make more than that. I don't want to get off topic and off subject, but I already was running my income through an LLC. And whenever I made more than what I needed to make, which was $1,250 in a week, I always left the profits in my business, in my LLC anyway. I never wrote myself a check for that amount. So I want you to understand that I guess that's kind of relevant. Okay, I was bringing into my house about $1,250 a week. I'm still going to be bringing into my house about $1,250 a week, but there were several weeks that I would make more than $1,250. Normally somewhere between $1,200 and $1,500 a week. So now, as the owner of the truck, I expect my income to triple because I was getting paid about a third of what my truck was doing. So now I expect it to gross about $4,000 a week, about $16,000 a month. I expect the truck to gross. I expect operating expenses minus what I'll be paying myself to be about $7,000 a month. Just to give you an idea of the numbers, of the relevant numbers. Okay, so that's pretty much what I have invested and what I expect to gain as a result of making this move. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not really 100% sure what the entire future holds. I feel confident in what the next 60, 90 to 180 days holds. I feel confident in how I got started as an owner-operator. I'm buying a truck that I know that I've been driving for the last few years. I know there's a lot of opinions out around the subject of buying a $10,000 truck, but I think it's all relevant to what you're doing. As I already said, I don't go out of the state of Virginia. I can't say I would recommend a $10,000 truck to go over the road, but for what I'm doing, buying a truck for $10,000 that I have been driving already, that I'm already familiar with, I think was a smart move. I feel confident in that, and I'm also doing the same work that I was doing. So this is the first day that I'm out on the road driving the truck, and everything's coming to me, but I'm pulling the same trailer that I was pulling, for ever since I've been pulling wood chips, and I'm still pulling wood chips as well. So as far as the work, I guess what I'm saying is, as far as the work, I'm still doing the same work, and I'm still pulling the same stuff for the same individual. So I expect work to continue just as it has been pretty much for the last few months. This type of freight is seasonal, though. It does go up and down, and so that's why I say I'm not 100% sure what to expect too far off in the distance. I feel pretty comfortable about what I should expect from this freight in the next 90 to 180 days, though. So if you are one of those individuals that's kind of wondering what it's like, and you're thinking about making the move, or you want to know should you make the move, I can't be the one to tell you whether you should or whether you shouldn't. What I will say to you is, I was apprehensive about this decision as well for a long time, but I'm super excited right now, and this is the first day. I literally had a hard time sleeping last night because I'm so excited about the decision that I just made. I know that there are those that have probably been in the profession for a while that may be looking at this video. They'll say, yeah, I remember when it was new and it felt good like that and rosy and airy-fairy and all of that good stuff. But the trick is, we're going to see how you feel once the maintenance bills and all that good stuff start hitting you. And I mean, I understand how that stuff works because of the arrangement that me and my dad have had over the last few years. I haven't had to foot the bill, the maintenance bill, but when the truck has to get dropped off, I'm the one that's got to drop it off. When it's got to get picked up, I'm the one that's got to pick it up. I've always been getting paid a third of what this truck grosses overall. If the truck don't gross nothing for the day, I don't make anything. I'm not a typical company driver in that sense. So whenever the truck needs to go in the shop, I'm the one that has to make the phone calls and make arrangements with the shop and make sure I don't drop it off at a shop and they have it too long, or they've had it for a day and haven't worked on it yet. I've had to get picked up from the shop by my wife because I had to drop the truck off, and get dropped off again at the shop the next day because I got to pick the truck back up, or have to, go and pick up a part for the truck while the truck is at the shop. I've kind of experienced all of that already. I feel like if I continue to work like I'm working right now, then the financial aspect of taking care of the truck, the money will be there as long as I continue to do what I've already been doing. Just continue to only live off a third of, or only bring into my house a third of what my truck grosses, and the rest of my money just stay in my business. I feel like if I focus on that and do that and stay disciplined with that, then the money should be there for the maintenance and repairs on the truck. And I don't have to get used to taking the actions. I'm already in the habit of taking the actions because of the arrangement that me and my pop have already had. So, I feel like I got a pretty good understanding of what is to come. Again, I plan on keeping you guys updated. I'm gonna go on every evening. This is the longest video on this series. I'm gonna do one video a day for the next 30 days, or every day that I work. I normally work Monday through Friday. If I work on a Saturday, I'll do a video. Every evening when I come in, I'll do a short 3 to 7, 4 to 8 minute video just updating you on how the day has been going, how the numbers are looking, whether I made money for that day, whether I had an issue happen with something while I was out on the road, just to give you guys a little bit of insight and perspective on what it's like when you first get out on the road as a new owner-operator. So if you're interested in following along on that journey, be sure to click the subscribe button so that YouTube will show you the videos as I upload them. So this is Maurice Bay, the Helpful Trucker. If you got comments or questions, leave them down in the comment section. I will do my best to read them, get back to you, and answer your questions if there's anything that I can help you with. That's it for today. Peace out. I'll see you. Today's Thursday, April the 1st. I'll see you tomorrow, Friday, April the 2nd.